things theology, all things theology. We chop it up properly without an apology. Gotta give doxology to God hollow, because this is how we do it at All Things Theology.
Yo, grace and peace, guys. It's Kdub, and welcome to another edition of All Things Theology. I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you haven't already, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, share this video out. I hope the content here blesses you. But today, I want to talk about Beth Moore leaving the SBC. Yes, Beth Moore has indeed left the building. The SBC building, that is. She was a part of the SBC for about 30 years, I read. And I'm going to be reviewing this article. It will be in the link description that Religion News wrote by, forgive me if I mispronounce his last name, but Bob Smientana. I think I pronounced it right, on March 9th of this year. Yes, she says she's had enough. And these are going to be a lot of the quotes. I'll let you know when I refer back to the article and then I'm commenting. But in the article, she told Religion News Service in an interview on Friday, March 5th, she is no longer a Southern Baptist. She says, I am still Baptist, but I can no longer identify with Southern Baptist. Now, this was a phone interview, by the way. She says, I love many people. I love so many Southern Baptist people, so many Southern Baptist churches, but I don't identify with some of the things in our heritage that haven't remained in the past. And so she's saying there's a problem in the SBC. And I've always told people, this is my comments, I've always told people, yeah, there's many, I think, good reasons to leave the SBC. But the reason why she left the SBC, I think, are invalid. People can leave any denomination they want, but I think they should have valid reasons for leaving, biblical reasons for leaving. And so she's going to give some of her reasons why she left. And we'll give a comment. So back to the article. Moore told RNS that, she also ended her partnership with Lifeway Church. But yeah, back to the article. In October 2016, Moore had said what she called the shock of my life when reading the transcripts of Access Hollywood tapes where Trump boasted of his sexual exploits of women. You can kind of see where this is going to be going, why she left. She said, this just wasn't immorality. This smacked of sexual assault. She expected her fellow evangelicals, especially Southern Baptist leaders she trusted, to be outraged, especially given how they had reacted to Bill Clinton's conduct in the 1990s. Instead, she said they rallied around Trump. And so let me give my commentary of this. I think I was in elementary when Bill Clinton, all that was going around, and I did not have sexual relations with that woman. You know, I was just a kid, so I wasn't involved, and I don't know how that handled. So how Trump's idea, this issue was handled, I don't recall anybody saying, hey, no, that's fine. And so she was like, I expected people to be angry and outraged. But who was up there justifying what Trump did? And she makes it seem they were rallying around, this article makes it seem like they were rallying around this immoral man in the sense of yeah, I know what he did and it's okay. I'm okay with sexual abuse, that's not what was said. I would be shocked to find one Southern Baptist pastor, crazy as they all are, or some are, go to that length to defend Trump. I haven't seen it. I'm going to provide further commentary, but let me read this. She said, the distortion of this was staggering. She said, just staggering. Moore, who described herself as pro-life from conception to grave, aka Democrat, we know what that means. It's not just, this was used to vote Democrat this year to promote, disparity issues or reparations and all sorts of love your neighbor kind of issues. Back to the article, she said she had no illusions about why evangelicals supported Trump. who promised to deliver anti-abortion judges up and down the judicial system. So she has no idea why people would support Trump, right? But all these evangelicals were apparently just supporting his immorality, which I don't know anyone who was. But let me tell her why people supported Trump, just in case she doesn't know. Like she clearly hasn't just asked. Let me tell you why. And in 2016, I wasn't on this road. So I'm just going to tell what I've heard, what I've seen. People just didn't like Hillary. I mean, I'm just be completely honest with you. It wasn't because people were so pro-Trump. A lot of evangelicals that I saw said, I voted for him. They just didn't like Hillary. They didn't want to go the Hillary route because of the things she was promoting. And so a lot of people were actually very troubled by both sides. But they were in a position to where, which one would you rather have? And a lot of people say, well, I got the person I really don't trust in Hillary. And I got a person, Trump, who, man, I really don't know what he'll do. But at least he gives lip service to some of the things we value. Okay, I'm gonna go with this guy and hope for the best. And for the most part, I think Trump did okay. You know, he wasn't perfect. I think he did okay. I think he did a lot better than Hillary would have. You know, from a Christian's perspective. So, still, she could not comprehend how he became a champion of the faith, which he was not. I know many SBC pastors would say, hey, I agree with a lot of his policies, but I don't think the man's a Christian. I mean, the guy said he doesn't need to ask for forgiveness. Like, when asked, why does he need to ask forgiveness? He's like, for what? You know, yes, he does, put himself in a lot of Christian circles. And I'd rather that guy. I'd rather the guy who's not a Christian, but at least appeals to a lot of Christians' morality than the person who's like, goes against a lot of Christian morals. She says in the article, he became the banner, the poster child for the great white hope of evangelicalism. The salvation of the church in America. You just got to do that, right? Again, no one said, oh, okay, I'm not going to say no one, because you do have Robert Morris down in Dallas, and so he's like the exception to a lot of the things I say. She said, nothing could have prepared me for that. Now, this isn't what people were saying. The issue was, for Christians, which policies line up more or better with the Bible? Does all of Trump's policies line up with the Bible? Of course not. I mean, you're not going to get that in any president, I don't believe. Not today. But if you're just going to look at the face of it, I mean, take the big red, the orange man out of it. Take, Trump out of it. You just put his policies on paper. You put Hillary's on paper. I mean, it's not even questionable. It's not a matter of who's going to save the Church of America. It's not a matter of the great white hope. See, she makes it an ethnic thing because she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. When Moore spoke out about Trump, the pushback was fierce. Book sales plummeted, as did ticket sales to her events. Her criticism of Trump was seen as an act of betrayal. She talks about how much money she lost because of her non-support of Trump. Maybe they just didn't like the route you were going. I mean, maybe Trump did reveal a lot of that, ironically, but for most people, it's not. For most people in 2016, I don't believe it was their love of Trump, but actually the other way around. It's their disdain for what Hillary was promoting. I mean, that's the way I saw it. And like I said, I wasn't a huge Trump supporter in 2016. I still haven't been. But just giving the man credit where credit is. I mean, just being honest. She said after allegations of abuse and misconduct began to surface among Southern Baptists in 2016, Moore also became increasingly concerned about her denomination's tolerance of leaders who treated women with disrespect. Um, Call them out. I don't know anyone. Um, Now, does it happen in some circles? Yeah, I'm sure. But the SBC pastors that I know have not been covering up for these people. Um, so I don't know what she's really talking about in that. But in 2019, she preached a Mother's Day sermon that got a lot of people raising their eyebrow of her kind of going a more egalitarian route. People like John MacArthur spoke out, the famous, go home. Came out, and this is kind of maybe she has gone home now. She said she's leaving the SBC. She's going home. Who knew John MacArthur would be prophetic? A little joke there. But John MacArthur spoke out, Josh Bice, and others. And so, what was her response to them? Saying, "Hey, this kind of not good. That you are taking the role of where the Bible teaches male elderships and authority in the church as far as the local church preaching context and things like that on the Lord's Day." Her response: "We're in the middle of the biggest sexual abuse scandal that has ever hit our denomination, and suddenly the most important thing to talk about was whether or not a woman could stand at the pulpit and give a message." And so you can see her concern is like, so this kind of reminds me of like the whataboutism, like that many like woke people like to do. Like you bring out a immoral act, and if it doesn't fit their little paradigm of their gaslighting, as people like to call it, they want to bring out, hey, well, what about this? And so clearly she doesn't see as a woman preaching, woman, preaching as in the pulpit as a big deal, right? That's secondary. Um, Last thing here, she said she looked at joining another denomination, perhaps becoming a Lutheran or Presbyterian, but in her heart she remains Baptist. She still loves the Southern things. She still loves the things Southern Baptist believes. I'd question some of that, but she said and is determined to stay connected with the local church. Moore hopes at some point the public witness of Southern Baptists will return to those core values and away from nationalism, sexism, and racial divides that seem to divide his public witness. So good old, woke theology thrown at there in the end to why we see why she's wanting to leave. Because these are the things that you just got to accuse every Southern Baptist church of: nationalism, sexism, and racism. No proof of those things. This vague nationalism, whatever that means. Still waiting on definitions for that. What is it? If you love your country or your nationalism? I saw someone say, well, if you believe that the the documents of why am I going blank here? Well, going blank, but a lot of the founding fathers principles, if you believe that, almost kind of try to equate like you believing the Declaration of Independence. Sorry, that now it came to me. Kind of said, well, a lot of people believe it's almost inspired. Therefore, you're a nationalist, and it's like I don't know anyone who believes that. And so, yeah, and then the sexism. Obviously, if you don't believe women should be preaching in the pulpit, you're a sexist, which would make pretty much every Southern Baptist prior to 5-10 years ago a sexist. And if you voted for Trump, you're a racist. If you don't believe in things like critical race theory, you're a racist, and things like that. And so, but yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoy my critique, my response, and hey, Beth Moore. Yeah, I don't really know what to say to her personally. I don't have any personal qualms with her, but I do have problems with people leaving a certain denomination based on biblical grounds. like I said, I'm not Southern Baptist, so I don't have a seat in the chair here. So but yeah, man, hey, this has been All Things Theology. I'm K-Dub. Make sure to like this, leave a comment if you have any questions for me. Until the next time, guys, grace and peace.